Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So I think it's time. I think we can start now so that we'll keep up with time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum
All
salam.
thanks and gratitude due to Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, who in his infinite mercies gave us the ability, the capability, and the well-being to find ourselves here today in this session, the third session of the MSSN Gombe State University Career Fair. We pray that whatever we learn here become beneficial for us in our lives, personally, professionally, academically, spiritually, mentally, and any otherly that is available in the English lexicon. Without wasting much of our time, I am going to give a brief introduction of our speaker so that we know the caliber of person we have in our midst. Mr. Ibrahim is a seasoned commercial leader with over 8 years of progressive experience driving sales, market expansion, and strategic growth within Nigeria's consumer packaged goods industry. He currently serves as a business development executive at Bergdorf AG, where he contributes to shaping commercial strategy and strengthening the market presence for global brands. Mr. Ibrahim holds a bachelor's degree in civil engineering and an MBA in marketing from both Ahmedu Bello University Zaria, an academic foundation that uniquely blends analytical thinking with marketing excellence. Beyond his corporate accomplishments, he is deeply passionate about youth development, leadership, and career empowerment. He dedicates much of his time to mentoring young people, helping them align their education with employability, workplace relevance, and suitable business success. From this two-paragraph introduction, all you hear is personal development, markets, all you hear is consumer package. You all know that what we are here to talk about is business. So we pray to Almighty Allah to open our minds, our hearts, and our brain to acquire all that He is going to say and to make the knowledge we are going to acquire here beneficial to us. Inshallah, as I said, my name is Mubarak. I have been given the responsibility of moderating this session. It's my limited experience, so I'm going to I'm going to call on each and every one of us to kindly mute our mic while the session is going on, and also our video, so to avoid network issues. We are going to give our speaker 1 hour to give us what he has for us, inshallah. So, Mr. Malan Ibrahim, the floor is yours. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I would want to share my screen. Unfortunately, from my end here, the screen is showing that I'm unable to do that. I don't know if you could enable it so that I can share my screen and the slides will be up. Malam Mubarak.
Now, just a minute.
Okay. Okay, it's up. So please confirm if you can see my screen.
Now we can see it, sir.
Okay. Okay, good evening once again to everyone, and it is my pleasure to be with you this evening to present on the topic Dare to Dream, Unlocking Global Possibilities. And as previously shared, basically under this topic, we'll be looking at the steps or how you transition from the campus into your career life. And without much waste of our time, we want to look at specifically why do we need to have this lecture. So first, we need to understand that graduates today struggle with campus to career transition because there is an increased competitiveness within the labor market or within the job market. And basically this is because, not because there are no jobs available, but because graduates are not really having some of the skills at times to totally transition into the job market. And other times they do have the skills, but unfortunately they are unable to clearly or vividly communicate these skills and how they intend to apply the acquired knowledge into the industry. So we will look at how they can effectively communicate this. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to at least leave with some information on how you can communicate your strengths and position yourself for a great career ahead. Students are also not exposed to the job market. Just as I said, they do not understand, they have limited knowledge of what is needed in the job market and how do you shine so that at the end of the day, your potential employer eventually picks up your CV and invites you for that much needed interview and give you that employment letter. So, and then global opportunities continue to expand. We see from the COVID pandemic to date, we have seen how global opportunities continue to expand. We have seen the rise of remote jobs and you know, people getting jobs from across the borders. So by the end of this presentation, we expect that both students and recent graduates that attend this presentation are able to understand what professional CV or resume writing is all about. And then they are able to learn the job winning strategy and also build a very strong personal brand, which is basically their professional profile. And then they gain confidence for interviews so that at the end of the day, if they are able to structure their CV and clearly communicate their strengths there, and they end up being invited for interviews, they'll be able to scale through. So the first we'll be looking at is a mindset shift. And here I identified that basically there is a campus mindset. And whenever you come across a student on campus, basically his or her focus is on grades, courses, and theory. It's all about how do I graduate with first class? How do I understand this course and that course? How do I master this theory so that at the end of the day, basically I want to be able to excel academically and complete all my coursework and graduate. So this is the campus mindset, which by the way is excellent because for each and every student, we expect that you make the most of your time on campus studying and then ensuring that you have a great certificate at the end of the day, because that really differentiates you or that gives you a competitive edge versus other candidates out there in the labor market. So this is the campus mindset. On the other side, we have the industry mindset. And basically in the industry, the focus is around value. Organizations want to look out to whoever they are hiring to see what value will you be adding? What skills do you have that you can apply within the industry to help us achieve our objectives? And also applied knowledge. Whatever you've studied on campus, how do you apply that to make the industry better, to forge ahead? So it is all about how you can show a company that you can solve a specific problem for them and you can add value. So it's not about your first class. Your first class at the end of the day would not assist the company to achieve its objectives. But then whatever you have acquired and how you can apply that knowledge is what the company is looking out for. So this is the mindset shift. A student or a recent graduate needs to transition into how do I communicate to the targeted industry that I have the skills and I am able to apply the knowledge I've acquired from school so that I deliver value to the company or to the organization. So who are your first interviewers? Now, the first interviewers that you have is what we call the ATS. And basically the ATS is just an abbreviation of applicant tracking system. And as you can see, the definition of applicant tracking system, it It is basically a software application for human resources, which helps organizations to manage their recruitment and hiring processes digitally. As you know, for each and every job advert you send out today, if at this minute I send out a job advert, I can be sure that in the next 1 hour, I would have received at least 100 of CVs. Now, this is overwhelming. So how do I begin to, sift through these CVs until I identify the right candidate? That is where all these ATS come into play. They are softwares, robots, to put it correctly, that will help organizations to filter CVs to ensure that only the eligible candidates and the candidates that are highly skilled for that particular advertised role scale through. So examples of these ATS include Workday, Workable, Oracle Telio, Bamboo HR, Zoho Recruit. So several companies use different ATS to filter CVs or to filter applications. I know that, for example, Coca-Cola today and General Electric, they use Workday. P&G used to have Oracle Telio. And of recent, I think MTN also uses Oracle Telio. But then it's just something that you need to know that exists. You don't have to bother yourself about the many ATS that we have. So, but at stage 1, after submitting your application or your CV, the robot reads your CV first. And how it does this is it scans your CV for keywords and phrases from the job description. Now, what this is saying is when you submit your CV, the ATS will scan your CV and see the job description being advertised for that vacancy. Does it have some keywords that it will match to see if those keywords and phrases are on your CV? If it does, then it scores you. If it doesn't, then it throws you away. For example, customer service. Maybe it is a customer service vacancy. It will look across your CV to see, do you have anything related to customer service or this exact word? If you have it, then it marks it. If you don't, then it throws away your CV, and that is all. The implication, therefore, is that if your CV isn't formatted to suit the ATS, a human may never see it. And therefore, you should use simple formats on your CV, use standard fonts so that the ATS can read the CV clearly, and ensure that whatever is within the job description of that vacancy being advertised, you have the keywords at least within your CV, okay? So this is the first interviewer, quote unquote. The second interviewer is the human recruiter. And basically this human recruiter is the human being at the end of the ATS that would eventually review your CV. So if your CV scales through the ATS, then it pushes it to the human being to say, okay, this CV, I think it is worth your time. And for your information, this human being, on the average, based on a research conducted by Ladder's HR, on the average, the HR or the human recruiter spends 6 to 8 seconds scanning your CV. And what he just looks at is, he will look at the impact on your CV. Have you clearly illustrated, for example, at the end of your sideways program or at the end of your NYSC or any internship that you have done, have you been able to make impact to that organization that you conducted your NYSC or sideways or internship or whatever? Is there that impact? What is the relevance? Is your CV relevant to the role being advertised? And then is it clear? What is the clarity? Because there are CVs that, when you look at them, they are not so clear. They contain too much unnecessary information that are not needed on the CV, which, by the way, we'll see within the course of this presentation. So within 6 to 8 seconds, just with a glimpse, the HR manager looks at this CV to see if it is worth his time to keep reading. Once he sees that there are gaps, either from impact standpoint or from relevance standpoint or from clarity standpoint, immediately he sees that there are gaps, then he puts it aside. So this is the second filter. But then if you are able to clearly demonstrate impact, demonstrate relevance and clarity, then get that invitation for the interview. So these are the two filters. Basically, in any job you submit online, once you submit your CV, these are the two things that work on your CV before you get that invite for the interview. So anytime you see that after applying for a job and then you receive a rejection letter, it means one of these two interviewers, quote unquote, was not satisfied with your CV. But once you get an invitation for the interview, then already I have to tell you that there is a 50% chance that you get that job. It's just left for you to come to that interview and prove that truly you know what you are doing. So that's about the process. So this is the anatomy of a CV, basically the structure of a CV. And here, basically, I'm just saying CV because on the flyer, the CV is what was advertised. But then what I'm basically talking about is a resume. There's a difference between a CV and a resume. And whenever you say CV, we are talking about the one applicable to the academia. On your CV, basically, you have a lot of details around your academic profile, your undergraduate project, maybe your master's thesis, your PhD research topic, papers you have published, maybe as either a professor or something. This is a CV. So sometimes you see CVs up to 30 pages. Yes, they are CVs. But in the industry, mostly within the corporate environment, we're looking at a resume. So this is the structure of a resume. The first section comes as this: contact and summary. In this contact and summary, basically the first thing we want to see on every CV is your name, boldly written, your full name, first name, surname. If you have 3 names, you put it there, but it should be the first thing. Not that on the top of the CV or resume, you write curriculum vitae or you write resume. No, your name should be the first thing. Then the next thing is professional email. And what we mean by professional email is whenever you're opening an email account, we expect that you open an email with your name. So if, for example, your name is Bello Sani, your email address should look like this, maybe bello.sani@gmail.com or Bello Sani, maybe 1992, if you are born 1992, whatever the case may be. But then your name should be within that email. Not that the typical way, people open their, young people open their email accounts with fancy names like coolboy2001@gmail.com, or maybe he's a lady, Princess H@gmail.com or at yahoo.com. All these are not needed. It's a sign of unseriousness. Anytime a HR picks your CV and says this, already you are giving them an impression of the kind of person you are. So therefore, open a professional email. If today you already have such kind of email addresses, please, before you put any email on your CV, ensure that it shows that you are a responsible person. Okay, so the next one is your phone number. Here we strongly advise that you keep to just one phone number. Therefore, if you are looking for a job, ensure that there is that one phone number that you are available on 247, so that you put that phone number on your CV, because recruiters at times call through that phone number. If you keep 2 or 3 phone numbers on your CV, then it's also another sign you are trying to stress the HR manager, the recruiter, to start calling number by number looking for you. So already he forms, he feels like, okay, this guy is going to stress me. So that could be another disadvantage. Another thing is when putting your phone number on your CV or in your resume, put the country code. Instead of writing, for example, 080-123456788. So instead of that 0, take it out and put the country code +234 for Nigeria. So you should put it as +23480, then the remaining digits. The importance of doing this is because as you are networking and sharing your CVs to a lot of places, there is that possibility that your recruiter might not even be in Nigeria. I give you an example. Today in the corporate world, emerging markets like Africa, India, Turkey, and co., most of the companies that operate within these emerging markets have their headquarters in Dubai, but you wouldn't know, okay? You wouldn't know while submitting your application because it's online, it's a global platform. So if the person is trying to reach you, he doesn't know whether you are in Nigeria or you are in Dubai, okay? So if you put just 080 and he dials that and you're reachable, then at the end of the day, you lose that. Okay, so always try to put your country code as +234. That's that's the format for your CV if you want to play globally. Okay, then your address. On address, we strongly advise that, yeah, you put your address, but you should be careful on this, because address is something very confidential. You know, people can trace your address with the whole insecurity going on in Nigeria. You shouldn't just throw out your CV out there with your address in detail. No, try to put maybe just the city and the location smartly, okay? So that that counts for you, because you're just uploading your CV in a lot of places. Some of them are job boards, and with the whole data protection concerns globally, you don't know if someone purchases your data and throws it away, anyhow, and someone gets hold of your address. It doesn't speak so well. Then there is a professional summary, and this professional summary is basically that section where you highlight the skills you have and your career goals. In other words, your objectives, okay? You should try to avoid things like tribe, religion, multiple phone numbers, state of origin, marital status. Now, these details used to be part of a resume, okay? But it's no longer accepted globally. It's no longer sorry for that, it's no longer the standard practice. These details are no longer needed, especially your tribe, religion. In some cases, even your gender is no longer needed, because some of these companies play globally. They have no regards to personal, your personal affiliations. For example, your tribe, they are trying to promote what they call, diversity. So they don't have regards to anybody's tribe or religion. They just believe if you are competent enough, you have the skills, then you are welcome. Come and deliver the value. Your tribe or religion does not really count for them. They are only after what you can deliver. Okay? So the next structure is your education and certifications. And as a recent graduate, this should be the next thing that comes on your CV. For experienced graduates, the best thing is to put your working experience. But as a recent graduate, put your education and certifications first, ahead of whatever experience you think you already have, maybe for 0 to 2 years in most cases. So you should begin with your highest qualification first. So you put your BSc first, and if you want, you can put maybe your work results. For example, you can just say, okay, West African senior secondary school certificate examination. Maybe under the grades, you just put 2 distinctions, 7 credits, just as an example. But then the standard practice is you don't even include your secondary school or your high school. Only your first degree is what is needed, except you have postgraduate degrees. Maybe you have a master's or a PhD, then you can put that. But anything below a degree, in most cases, is not really welcomed, because your CV, the scantier it is, to put it that way, the better for you. Nobody wants to read a bulky CV. At this stage, your CV shouldn't be more than 1 page, okay? It shouldn't be more than 1 page, because today you look across industry, even people that have already scaled through to become CEOs or directors have just 2 pages. So why should a recent graduate have more than 1? So try as much as possible to put only the necessary details. So you should include your degree, the institution you graduated from, your degree meaning maybe BSc Biology, your institution, Gombe State University, year of graduation 2015, for example, or November 2025, okay? Then the last but not the least is your experience and skills. And this is the most critical section. The reason why it's the most critical section is every employer wants to see wherever you have worked, whether for 3 months or 2 months, they want to see how did you work in that place. In other words, what was your impact in that place? Okay, that's why it is critical. Therefore, you must be able to showcase the impact that you've made in that place. Maybe it's a 3 months teaching practice. So you have to show what did you do in 3 months, the result you generated, okay? You list your internships, your service experience, even NYS. You list the most recent role. For example, today, you can list your NYSC as the first experience, followed by your sideways or your IT or teaching practice. This is also another working experience for you at this stage. include the company name or the organizational name. It can be a school, okay? It can be a school. It can be the Ministry of Finance. It can be the Directorate of Employment, whatever it is. You put the company name or the organizational name and the duration from May 2024 to December 2024. That's the duration. Your job title, okay, I was a pupil pharmacist. Okay, I was a teacher or a teacher in learning, or whatever the case may be. That job title is very important, and the impactful achievements. What did you achieve? Okay, when I was working, I tried to, or let's say, I led a project that reduced the amount of time we spend trying to sort out admission letters, for example. As a secretary, maybe you try to reduce the time that it takes for the office to sort out admission letters whenever admissions are out. So whatever the case may be, that impact that you made, you have to call it out on your CV. We'll see an example. You create a skills section, very important. You need to show your potential employer that you have maybe effective communication skills, meaning you write well, you speak well. Effective communication is all about when I talk, people understand me and they're able to, pick very important points and work with them and they achieve results, okay? I communicate very clearly. That's what it means. I write very well, okay? MS Excel, Microsoft Excel. I'm good with Excel. I can do whatever it is on Excel. I'm good with that. PowerPoint presentation, public speaking, data entry, maybe as a data analyst or wherever you've worked, you were their data analyst. So you call out that particular skill in that section, okay? Then professional writing as well. Any skill that you know is applicable and relevant to that particular job, make sure you call it out. Then lastly, there is a referee sections. Now, for referees, you can provide a professional or an academic referee. A professional referee is basically who was your supervisor during your SIWIS or IT? Who was your supervisor during your internship or teaching experience? That supervisor, you can put him on your CV, but ensure that he's aware so that in case any potential employer reaches out to him, then he would be able to give a very good remark about you. Okay, academic referee include maybe your HOD or your lecturer from school, your project supervisor. You can put them as also referees. But the standard practice is you can just keep your referees to yourself, except it's clearly called out that, okay, you need to supply 2 or 3 referees. But you can just create the section and put it that, okay, it's available on request. It's acceptable that way. So that at the end of the day, if they need a referee, then you supply the 2 relevant referees that you think would give a very good remark about you. So this is just a sample of a CV. I want us to take note of this. So as I said earlier, your name in full should be the first thing on your CV or on your resume. So look at it, Charlie Johnson, that is his name. 010 is his phone number, okay? He is applied locally, but like we said, it's good for you to put your phone number as +234 with your country code so that in case someone is calling you from outside your country, he would still be able to reach you. Then your email, professional email, look at it, C. Johnson. He abbreviated the Charlie, he said C. Johnson, which is a professional name. Everybody can see that, yeah, yes, it is his name. London, England, that is his location. So if you like, you can put your address. If you are okay with putting your address out there, it's fine. But then you should know that nobody is going to post your employment letter. It's no longer the world where people post your employment letter to your house. You receive your employment letter via your email. So your email is the most important thing here, and your phone number. Your address, the city is just to show the employer that maybe you are located in a particular city where the job is. So whatever the case, you can put your location or your address if you're comfortable with that. The next thing is the profile summary or his professional summary. Look at how he summarized his profile. He said he's a driven hotel assistant manager with over 5 years experience in the customer service industry. What has he done? He has given a brief intro about who he is. Okay? Then he proceeded, he said, in restaurant and hotel management, meaning he has that skill of managing restaurant and hotel. He has achieved increased revenue of 15% as a restaurant manager. This shows what? The impact that he has made. And improved standards as an assistant hotel manager. This is also another impact. Now, 15% is showing a measurable impact that he has achieved. Okay? So, looking to further my managerial leadership and customer care skills as general manager of the Outlook London in Hotel, of the Outlook Hotel in London. Here, he's trying to state the objective or his career aspiration. Okay? He's trying to state his career aspiration so that the potential employer sees that, yeah, this is somebody that needs this job and he's targeting to get this job. And he has already told me that this is his profile. This is what he has done in places he has worked before. So this is a professional summary. If you look at it, it's not more than 4 lines. So you need to be able to clearly communicate who you are, what you are capable of, and what you are looking out for in just 2 to 3 lines, or 3 to 4 lines max. Okay? We'll still see how we can achieve this. With AI tools today, you can get this and continuously refine it, because AI is not going to give you the exact, the exact profile that defines you, because AI doesn't know you. It's the information that you give AI that it will return to you. So whenever you are using it, you should try to put your human touch to it. You know yourself better than AI. So edit it always before you put it on your CV, so that when you are seated over there on the table and the interviewer is asking you a question, then you can confidently answer. So the next section of your CV is the skills. Look at it, you call out the skills. He has experience in hotel management. He's skilled in hotel management, hospitality management, team leadership, guest satisfaction, etc. All these are skills. In your own case, maybe you want to put effective communication skills, Microsoft Office suites, meaning you know how to operate, you know how to work with MS Word, MS Excel, PowerPoint, and others. All these Microsoft packages, you can put them as another skill. Data analysis is a skill. Strategic planning is a skill. Whatever it is, all these are skills that you can put on your CV. And try to look at the job ad, as I said earlier. Look at the job ad and see what are the skills that are called out within the job ad on the in the job description section, so that you mirror it here, and then ATS software can pick that and have an exact match of your CV, and then push it forward for human review. Okay? Certifications, in case you have any. Professional experience, this is your work experience. Look at it. He has put the duration there. From 2020 to 2023, he was an estate hotel manager, okay, in London, UK. Clearly spelled out. So in his own case here, he said he's assisting the general manager with the entire hotel operation and overseeing a staff cohort of 100 people. Now, here we are even going to correct this, because you don't list out responsibilities on your CV. What we want to see is the achievement, okay? So if I were even a HR manager reviewing this, then here, he's not showing any impact. He's only calling out his responsibilities, okay? So then we are going to correct this as we proceed. So he's ensuring safety and hygiene protocols. So there are ways you can put this to show that, yeah, you made impact, okay? For example, you use action word. So instead of saying assisting the general manager with the hotel operation and overseeing a staff cohort of 100 people, he can say, because it is in the past, so he can say assisted the general manager with the entire hotel operation and oversaw or supervised a cohort of 100 people, which generated more visitors, or more visitors for the hotel, for example, showing that, yeah, after managing these people effectively, at the end of the day, it improved the turnaround or the turnover of visitors to that particular hotel. So this shows impact, and you are able to, attract the recruiter to say, okay, you know what you are doing. Let's look at the second experience. I think here he has been able to get it correctly. Or maybe the first experience is where he's currently working and he just felt like he can just put the roles and responsibility responsibilities instead of the achievement. Now, if you look at the second experience from 2017 to 2020, he was a White Horse. He was with the White Horse restaurant in Manchester United as the general manager. So he has managed. So look at it. He has managed a team of 20 front of house and kitchen staff. So this is showing that there is in the past, okay, but there is still no impact. But always ensure that you have that impact on your CV, okay? So the next section, like we said, is the education section. So look at how he placed it: school, right, and even his grade. All right. So how do you find templates? Because I mean, today, do you just go to just type this? Do you just go and type this? No. At the end of the day, you need a template. So how do you get this template? This is what this slide is all about. I think someone's mic is on. So you need to find the right template. So how do you find the right template? There are built-in templates on MS Word, okay? There are built-in templates on Microsoft Word. And once you open Microsoft Word, you'll see several built-in templates that are simple, professional, and 100% ATS friendly, and this has been confirmed by industry professionals that these templates are 100% ATS friendly, meaning ATS can read whatever you write in those templates whenever you submit your CV. So the way you navigate it is you go to File, you go to New from Template, you get it. Or if you cannot have that due to the version of your MS Word, you can access the MS Word Cloud through this web address, www.word.cloud.microsoft/create/en/resume templates. When you go to this link, you will see several templates that you can choose a professional, simple template that you see is quite appealing, and just use that to build your own resume. This is one template that you can use, okay? The next one is Flow CV. Now, Flow CV is a web address, is a website that you can go. It's 100% free, and it has great visuals. There are several designs that you can use, very fine designs that you can use to write your CV. But then you have to be careful when selecting those templates, because some of them are very complex designs and may not really be ATS friendly. So don't go and pick templates that I see a couple of people doing that, candidates, templates that have your pictures on it. In Nigeria, you don't really need your picture on your CV, but then, because in some countries, mostly within Europe and America, you see some CVs having pictures. Therefore, there are templates that show that you can put your CV. But in Nigeria, the standard practice is you don't really need your picture on your CV. So don't pick something too complex that at the end of the day, after passing the resume on ATS, then ATS will not be able to read it and it will just discard your CV, okay? So use with caution for corporate roles. And the web address for Flow CV is www.flowcv.com. Then the last but not the least, we have Teal. Teal is also similar to Flow CV. It's a free AI resume builder. You can download several templates. It has unlimited download access, okay? And this is the address, Teal HQ etc. So I'll share my presentation slides later. You can just take note of all these web addresses, and so that you are able to build your CV. There are others. There are plenty of such websites where you can design your CV. We have Canva, which I'm sure some of you are conversant with. Canva is a web address where you can do a lot of graphics design. You can design your business cards, calendars, and everything. So there are templates for resumes, and they are free. So you can also go to Canva and do that. There's Enhanced CV as well, where you can design your templates, calendars, and others. So this is where you can get your very good templates. I think I have about 15 minutes. Let me rush it up. The next thing is, the good thing is we are currently in AI era, AI age. AI is here to stay. So master AI. AI is never going to go away. It's here to stay. So go and learn AI. And it's not just about sending anything. That's why I said here I am saying you need to go and learn prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is simply how you are able to give refined instruction to AI in such a way that it gives you the best results available or the most effective results. You need to learn how to talk to AI. The way you talk to a friend is different from the way you talk to maybe a father or a mother or your younger one. There are different ways you talk to even human beings. So you don't talk to AI anyhow. Whatever you tell AI, it will give it back to you the same way. So you have to learn prompt engineering. How do you write an effective prompt that generates the best results? This is what prompt engineering is all about. So you use generative AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, Poe, Cloud AI, whatever. There are many AI tools available there. You use them as writing assistants, not as replacements. If you use them as replacements, they're going to write trash for you. And at the end of the day, anybody picks your CV understands that this is AI. So use it as an assistant to guide you rather than a replacement. I give you an example here. Let's assume I'm a lab technician and I'm currently working with CV. I need a bullet point that calls out my role as a lab technician. Now, when I tried to test this by myself. I went to ChatGPT and I write a bullet point for me as a lab technician. And look at the response it gave me. It stated that, okay, I performed laboratory tests and analysis, ensuring accurate results and contributing, blah, 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 da, da, da. So all this to a professional HR, this bold text doesn't call out any impact. You're only saying that these are things you did, but what was the impact? Okay, what is the impact? What did you generate? How were you different from the guy that was previously doing that work? So this is a weak prompt. Now, this is a better prompt. You go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, act as a professional CV writer, first stop. I was a lab technician during my internship, supporting scientific research and testing. I helped streamline our laboratory analysis process, which reduced testing turnaround time by 20. Ask ChatGPT to write this as a high impact bullet point for a CV. Because if you look at this prompt, if I want to write it on my CV, it's going to be too long. And I want to have a one-page CV is what I need. So look at the response ChatGPT gave me. It stated that I served as a lab technician intern, supporting scientific research and testing, streamlined the specimen analysis workflow, reducing laboratory test around time by 20%. So any HR that picks this, he can see that, okay, I made an impact by reducing the turnaround time by 20%. This is an impact. Therefore, he should keep reading my CV. I'm somebody he should consider calling for an interview so that I will come and explain to him how I did that. That's the whole essence of an interview. When they see your CV and they're impressed, they call you so that you come and explain how you did it. And if they are convinced, they give you the job so that you come and do it in their own organization as well. So show impact. Show impact. Don't just list duties or responsibilities. Show your impact. And I used to tell people that it's not about your responsibilities. Everybody has responsibilities. Today, even in this country, a lot of people are crying that the leadership has problems. So is it as if maybe our leaders don't have responsibilities? No, they have responsibilities. They have responsibility to ensure there is security, responsibility to ensure that there is electricity, to ensure that we have hospitals. All these are responsibilities, very fine responsibilities. If they put them on their CV, would you give them a job? You wouldn't give them a job because you know that at the end of the day, yes, they are supposed to provide security as a responsibility, but they didn't. So they're not worth, you shouldn't look at their CV. So, but then they should put it on their CV that, okay, yes, I ensured that there was no longer insecurity in my state. People were no longer snatching phones. From 50 phone snatchers in the city, we reduced it to just about 10. So this is a progress. You understand? This is an impact. Okay? I built X amount of schools. This is an impact. Not just I ensured that there was education. Yeah, there are schools opening. We see we see students going to schools, but then the education is not there. Learning and teaching is not happening. So there's no impact. So do not just say, I was responsible for collecting and analyzing data to provide valuable insights. Anybody can be responsible for that, okay? But what was your impact? Okay, so you have to use action verbs. I led this, I achieved this, I spearheaded this, I optimized this. Action verbs, I did this. Quantify your achievements. What did you achieve? Put it in quantity. 2, 3, 20%. All these are achievements. Put the quantity there. Focus on the impact. I did this, not I was responsible. So for example, instead of saying responsible for collecting and analyzing data to provide valuable insights, I rather put it as collected and analyzed data sets. This is showing that I have done it with 95% accuracy. Impact, delivering insights that improved reporting efficiency by 25%. After doing this, it helped everyone with their decision-making process. This is a strong point. Every HR now takes this and sees that, wow, this is great. I need to see this guy. I want to talk to him. How did he achieve 95% accuracy when I'm struggling with 60% in my organization? I need to talk to him. If he's somebody serious enough, I'll bring him on board. So this is how you write your CV. Number one, job winning strategy. How do you win jobs? Is there any strategy? Yes, there is. The number one job winning strategy anywhere or within the corporate sector is tailoring. And what do we mean by tailoring? Now consider yourself, you are in Gumbi. Now there is a supermarket in Gumbi, Mackay supermarket. Maybe they have clothes, trousers. If I walk in today, am I likely going to get a trouser that will fit me correctly? No, because whoever saw that trouser is somewhere maybe in the US, and these guys imported it. So I would have to take that to go and start, either folding it or whatever. But a better way of doing it is for me to go and get a fabric and go to a tailor who will now measure my length, have my complete measurement, the waist, the length of my leg and everything, and he tailors everything, meaning he cuts the fabric according to my size, and therefore I have a tailor-made trouser which will fit me excellently. So you too, whenever you have a job that has job descriptions, don't just throw out any CV. No, sit down, look at that job description, and tailor a CV that fits that job so that the HR will look at you. Therefore, to do that, you need to analyze the job description. You have about 5 minutes. You need to analyze the job description. You cycle words that are related to skills, software, and responsibilities. You mirror it on the CV, and you tailor your CV to that particular job. Therefore, there is no one-size-fits-all CV. It doesn't exist, okay? Then your networking tools. Where do you even find these jobs that we're talking about? Look at the sites. By the right-hand side, you can see them. These are popular search websites. LinkedIn is a popular platform, just like Facebook. You should have a LinkedIn account. Jobberman is also another job board. Have an account with Jobberman. Have an account with Hot Nigerian Jobs. Have an account with Indeed, which is a global platform, but then when you put NG, it becomes customized to Nigeria. So go there, make sure you're present there. So these are some of the tips you should follow whenever you're opening an account. Have a professional photo. Ensure that you have clear head and shoulders picture, okay? Don't just, open an account without photo. Profiles with photos get more views from hiring managers and recruiters. Have a headline. Ensure that every single segment of your profile is filled with your information, except what you do not want to disclose of your privacy, okay? Sorry. Then about section, you also complete that, and you get recommendations maybe from your managers. There are sections where you can ask people, your managers, your teachers, your professors, to write a brief recommendation about you. So leverage all these tools so that you are out there and you are visible to the global HR community, okay? Whenever anybody searches people with specific skill set, your profile will come up. These are some general tips. I will just skip this because we are running out of time. When I share the the slides, you'll be able to go through them. They are self-explanatory. It's just about you saving your file in your name and all that things. All these are very simple. Okay. So the next section of this talk is cover letter and interviews. Now, basically, a cover letter is just that letter you need to write, a motivation letter, where you communicate who you are, what you have, you show workings, meaning the evidence, and you close, telling them that they need to give you that job. Simple. That's what a cover letter is all about. So this is a brief anatomy of also a cover letter. You need to introduce yourself. Who are you? What is your role? Why do you think they should give you the specific job you are applying for? Evidence. What have you achieved in your previous, places of work? Then you need to say the closing. They should find attached your CV, and you look forward to having that interview session with them. So this is what a cover letter is. If you're confused about this, write an excellent prompt to ChatGPT. The world has become very easier in 2025. So ChatGPT will help you with this. You just sit down, you read through and ensure that it makes sense. It describes who you are and what you can do and what you can explain to the interviewer before you submit the cover letter. Okay? Interview preparation. How do you even prepare for an interview? Number one, you need to research about the company. You need to go to any company you're applying to, go and read about it. What are their brands? What do they even do? What is their mission? What is their vision? Okay? Who and who? What is the board looking like? What do they do? Details about the company. What is their most recent news? You can read all this online. Okay? Have that at the back of your mind. You need to understand the role. They're advertising for a data analyst or a commercial or a civil engineer or a marketer. You need to understand, what does he even do? Do you fit into that thing before you apply? This is all part of your preparation. Practice common questions. I will share some with you. There are common questions in every interview. I will share that before the end of the presentation. You need to dress professionally. You are having a virtual interview. Ensure that you look for a very good background. There are no noise. Your internet is stable. Dress professionally. Okay? Don't just dress anyhow. Maybe with a jersey, or just a jersey or some wonderful native dress or something. No, you dress professionally as somebody attending an interview, even if it is virtual. Okay? Prepare questions that you want to ask. At the end of every interview, they will ask you if you have any interview. Don't say no. Okay? It means why shouldn't you have any questions to ask? There must be questions. So go and think, what do you want to ask them about the company? Okay? These are some common interview questions that I would also, go through quickly. You need to they will ask you, tell me about yourself. So there's a way you answer all these questions. This is also another training that will take another presentation. There's a way you talk about yourself. What do you have? What did you study? What can you do? This is about yourself. Walk me through your CV. You have to explain your CV from here to here to here. Okay? You already have your CV. They just want to see how you can flow. Okay? Why should they hire you? What do you want to come and do in the organization? Okay? Why should they hire you? You should know why they should hire you. You should be able to convince them. What are your greatest strengths? Okay? All these are standard questions that you must go and learn how to answer them. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, do you plan to still work with us? You explain. Okay? What do you want to do in the next 5 years? Maybe in the first 2 years, you are trying to find your bearing in the company, master this. In the next 3 years, maybe get promotion, whatever it is, you explain. Describe a time when you solved a difficult problem. There's also what they want to assess here. And I will explain that in the next slide. So all these questions, I think you need to familiarize yourself with them. Go to YouTube, search for all these things. Interview. There are countless videos you can watch on YouTube on all this. On TikTok, the same thing. There is a page at Career Vids, career, normal career spelling, then Vids, there's no space. At Career Vids, V-I-D-Z. There is someone doing an excellent work helping candidates answer interview questions. Go and study that page and ensure that you learn one or two things. There's what we call the STAR technique. And this STAR technique is basically what most interviewers are looking out for. Any question they ask you in an interview, they want to see the STAR technique. And what the STAR technique is all about is you should explain the situation. What was happening? Because you are definitely going to give an example. Tell me about a time when you solved a difficult problem. So how you answer this question is you have to state the situation. What was happening at the time of that difficult situation? What was your goal to go out of that difficult situation? What was your goal? That was your goal. So what needed to be done? That's the task. Okay? Action. What steps did you take to go out of that situation? Okay? Then what did you achieve? That's the final thing. Any question they ask you in an interview, make sure you follow this technique. That is what shows, yes, you know what you are doing. There should be a situation, your condition at the time, what was happening, what was the task that needed to be done, what action did you do, what did you do, or what steps did you take, then what was the outcome. Ensure that you do this. So, action plan and next steps for all candidates, or for all students, or candidates rather, or recent graduates who are here with us and are looking for jobs. What are the next steps you need to take from here? The first thing is you need to go and build a strong CV by yourself. 10 years ago, people were paying 10,000, 20,000 naira to have someone write a CV for them. Now, if you are here, you have no reason to pay anybody to write your CV for you. You have no reason to ask anybody to write your CV. You just need to go and get a laptop and write your CV by yourself. You have all it takes to write a very strong CV at this level. Okay? Secondly, after getting your CV, you start applying actively, meaning you go to all the platforms we mentioned: LinkedIn, Hot Nigeria Jobs, Indeed, My Job Mag, all those platforms. You need to go and start searching for jobs and actively applying. These are platforms where you see tens and thousands of jobs every day. I can bet you that today, if I go, in fact, at this moment, if I go to www.hotnigerianjobs.com, I will see nothing short of 50,000 vacancies available across different industries, across different locations, across different regions. So you need to go and start applying them actively. Okay? Actively means the right way. Then you need to learn new skills quarterly. How do you do that? There are platforms like Jobaman that offer free trainings. So ensure that you go and enroll wherever you see, like McKinsey now. Go to McKinsey. They have a forward program for recent graduates and freshers, entry-level employees that you need to go and get your hands on. So go and acquire those skills online. Wherever you see a free program or you want to pay for a program, pay and learn. Okay? Then improve your LinkedIn. Go and optimize your profile on LinkedIn. Ensure that you fill in everything, you are visible and all that. Practice interview skills so that in case you get invited for an interview, you are able to respond correctly and accurately. Then aim beyond local opportunities. The world is a global village. You are here in Nigeria. Nothing stops you from getting a job in Canada, in Poland, in Qatar, in wherever, Kuwait, wherever you want to work. Because as a civil engineer, you are a civil engineer in Nigeria and you are a civil engineer globally. So you don't have to work in Nigeria. You can work in the US, you can work wherever. Iraq, even Iraq, if you want to work, Afghanistan, wherever you want to work, you can work in these locations. Look beyond global opportunities. Okay? Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Aminu alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. Gaskiya, that was really informative and a wonderful presentation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly and may He increase you in knowledge. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is the question and answer session, the interactive questions and answer session. So if you have a question you want to ask Madam, kindly raise up your hands and I will give you the floor to ask your question. Please make your questions brief and straight to point. What? Now, Mala Adamu, Najib Usman, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
I was late. I did not attend the 20 minutes of the session, but my question is that sometimes I used to see that on your platform, you used to post that at least after you graduated from university, you should at least get experience for 2 to 3 years from internship. After you get that, then you can tailor your CV into other into other companies. At least you get some some skills that you can sell yourself to other companies. How can we how can you add some more light on this? How can you shed light on this? Thank you. Here is what I can say.
Okay. Okay, let me just take that before the next question. So basically, as a recent graduate, to put it that way, after your NYSC or even within your NYSC, by the way, is part of your working experience, right? After your NYSC, you can start looking out for graduate trainee jobs, right? If you're unable to land a graduate trainee jobs, what we tell people is you can even volunteer to work freely. I mean, you can volunteer to work freely, whether it's a school, wherever it is, and you should have a target. Now, the target is, if I work for 1 year or 2 years here for free, then already I have an experience to put on my CV. And the next time I sit for an interview, I have some experience to talk about. I hope you understand. And then secondly, depending on how you structure your CV, if you are able to clearly communicate your working experience, already that becomes an edge for you, competitive edge versus a recent graduate that has zero working experience, has not worked anywhere at all, okay? Because wherever you work, there are things everyone looks out for, or let's say hiring managers look out for. And that thing is leadership experience. Wherever you are working, you are providing some sort of leadership. Even if you are teaching, you are providing an academic leadership. And that academic leadership means you are managing people, you are managing students, okay? If you are working as a technician, you are managing a lab. So how are you doing it? This forms points for you on your CV and forms points for you, discussion points for you in your interview, okay? So that's my response on that.
All right, thank you, sir. Say, Aliyu, please kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Malo, for such a wonderful session. Jazakumullah khair. My question is, please, when does years of experience start counting? Does it start counting post graduation or before graduation? Thank you. Sorry, did you get my question?
I think he's not online.
Sorry, a call came in and I missed your question. If you could briefly repeat your question. A call came in, so I lost connection.
Okay.
Okay.
What was the question?
I said, experience starts counting. Does it start counting post graduation or before graduation? For instance, if you have done some work that relates to your field of study, even before you graduate, like maybe you're someone that has a diploma or maybe probably someone in the technical field like engineering. You worked in a mechanic shop. Does it count as your professional years of experience, or must it be a well-established corporate structure?
So it depends on how you brand that. If you've worked, yeah, so I understand. So it depends on how you brand that. If you want to put it on your CV, it's great. And that's why today, or if, let's say even within the, if you check the flyer, the communication flyer, I think they spoke about personal branding. Now, it's all up to you how you brand it. If you want to brand it that, okay, you are a technician in the mechanic workshop, then you can put it on your CV and clearly call out that, okay, you did X, Y, and Z. It's all about, delivering impact wherever you are. Because anybody reading your CV just wants to see that you have been able to deliver that impact. And then you should be conscious of what you put on your CV to ensure that it's relevant to, what you are applying for. If I'm applying, let's say, for example, I'm applying for the role of a data analyst, and I've worked in a mechanic workshop. Mechanic workshop, except you want to state it on your CV that perhaps you are in charge of keeping a registry of the vehicles that come to that workshop, then that is a relevant experience. But if you are just part of the technicians that help maybe assemble the car whenever it's being fixed, then that is not a relevant experience to data entry job. Okay, so if you worked as maybe maintaining a registry of the vehicles that attend, or let's say the vehicles that come to the workshop to get fixed, then you can put that on your CV. It has to be a relevant experience. Yeah.
The other part of the
One question.
that I asked, you didn't answer the other part. Sorry.
No.
Does that experience count as part of your professional work experience?
Yes, it does.
No. So you have Madam Manir Lawan. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Malam Mubarak. Good evening, everyone. Our appreciation to the chief presenter, Malam Ibrahim Khalid. My question is this. Malam Ibrahim, please, what can you tell us about avoiding comfort zones? You see a situation whereby someone is from Gombe State, he's schooling Gombe State, he cut corners and manipulate his posting to serve in Gombe or a neighboring state, Borno or Bauchi State. And he don't want to go to Kaduna, or even not to even talk of going to the southern part of the country to take a role. Please, what can you tell us in these cases? Thank you.
Okay, so here, I think I will start with a famous quote. There's a famous quote you come around that says, all progress takes place outside your comfort zone, right? You have to start from somewhere. That's what I always tell people. You must start from somewhere. Your job must not really, doesn't have to meet you in where you are located or in your room. You have to start from somewhere. So for example, I give you an example. If I studied geology from University of Maiduguri, look at Maiduguri, and I want to explore a career in oil exploration. There's no oil to explore in Maiduguri. So whether I like it or not, I have to travel to Port Harcourt or Akwa Ibom State or Lagos, because that's where the oil companies are. There is no oil company doing oil exploration in Maiduguri. So I have to make up my mind. There is no day a company would come and open, its branch in Maiduguri because it wants to hire people from Maiduguri who studied geology. So we must have that flexible mindset that we're ready to work wherever is safe. Wherever you believe is safe, you're a Muslim, you are a Muslim, you'll be able to practice your religion well without any, harassment and everything. You should work there. You should work there. And that's why we talk about global opportunities. You can be here and, you get a job in the Middle East or wherever. Okay? So So you have to be very flexible. That's the step one. You have to understand that jobs move around. And even if you are employed today in Gombe, it doesn't mean that you will be kept in Gombe. You could be transferred to Delta State. You resign because you've been transferred to Delta State. Then if you resign, how do you take care of the bills? Okay, so we have to free our minds from that, that mindset of always living at home. No, you have to move around. Okay. Yeah. Myself, I've worked in Gombe for almost 3 years. I've worked in Gombe for 3 years. So that's why I'm speaking from experience, actually. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I see Ali Aisha to Abdul Qadir. I think that's our Amir. So Aisha to Abdul Qadir.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Walaikum
Thank you so much for Sam, for the presentation. Actually, I have one question. Actually, I'm curious. How does a person that study actually civil engineering actually um, start working actually with the CPG industry or something like that? So for someone like me that want to pursue a career in an industry and I'm studying something related to sciences or what have you, so I want to know how what actually the start of your journey, what was your motivation to actually shift from that area to the industry?
Okay, so so actually, I would say it was accidental. So it was accidental, actually. I studied civil engineering, and up till my 500 level, I looked forward to finishing and getting a job, maybe in a construction firm or in a design office, to continue practicing civil engineering. But then after school, I was very aggressive with applications. I just looked forward to having my degree and, to begin applying for everything. So I was applying for everything I came across. I was applying to scholarships abroad, local scholarships and internships and jobs. And suddenly I applied to the American consumer goods giant, Procter & Gamble. And I succeeded, and I sat for the interview, I made it, and I began a career in marketing in Lagos. And from there, I saw that, okay, I really liked the environment, and even the compensation was good, the salary was great. And I just felt like this is something I want to do again for 2-3 years. And before you know, it's getting to 9 years now, and I'm very comfortable in the industry. So maybe I should also look at another industry. So I'm very comfortable in the CPG, and that's why I decided to stay here. But I still love engineering. I love what is going on there. So, but for now, I really enjoy what I'm currently doing. So what I will tell you is, if you want to have that transition, you just put your eyes on job boards everywhere to check for graduate trainee positions. It starts from there, because for graduate trainee positions, they don't care whether you read accounting, archaeology, English, mathematics, guidance and counseling, library science, whatever it is you studied at the university doesn't count for them. They just want to ensure that you have a good degree, you are ready to learn, and you have that mental agility to quickly step up and get things done. You carried out certain tasks wherever you've worked before or stayed, and you completed them excellently. So it means you have all it takes to deliver whatever task they give you. So they're ready to hire you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I see Aisha to Abdul Qadir again. Raising. Yeah, Amir. Okay, Fatima Abdul
No, I'm
Aziz
sorry, it
Hussaini.
was your one already.
Okay, Fatima Abdul Aziz Hussaini. Let's ask questions for. Let's ask questions, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening. My question is just to buttress on a question someone already asked earlier. It's on, for example, if one is asked how many years of work experience you have, So let's, for example, I did internship during my undergraduate, and then during in between there was a strike, and I also volunteered for some couple of months. So all these things have, so from school I'm already building work experience. Then post school, let's say post then NYC also came. I also served. I have some work experience. Now post NYC, when being asked how many years of experience do you have, or what, for how long is this duration? So those ones before I graduated, are they supposed to count? The one I had during NYC, is it supposed to count, or it's supposed to count post NYC? I hope you get my question, sir.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So here, right? What if you believe it's relevant? If it's relevant, it counts. Okay, it counts. Because I give you an example now. Let me just digress a little. There is what we call shifting scholarship by the United Kingdom government. Now, when you go to apply for shifting scholarship, they will tell you very clearly that any working experience that you know, whether it's a volunteer leadership, maybe during your strikes, your normal ASU strikes, you volunteered in a hospital and you worked as a pharmacist, even though you were not yet a pharmacist, but then you felt like, okay, as a 300 level pharmacy student, there's something I can do in this maternity or in this pharmacy. Then you went there and you worked and you have some impact that, you know, you've made. Then you can put it on your CV. It counts as a working experience. You can put it, because at this stage, whenever you're applying for entry-level position, nobody writes back to any employer, because it's assumed that whatever you've done it as a student, as a student on industrial attachment. Okay, it's just an industrial attachment. It wasn't a full-time employment, so you can put it on your CV, and then when you go for the interview, you can now shed more light into what it was. And believe you me, that itself is counted as something great, because it means you have initiative for great things. Okay, you are always looking out to make a difference even within the society, so it's a plus for you. So please put it on your CV if you think it's relevant, meaning it's is a tax that is relevant to the job you are applying for or applying to. So I don't know if that answers you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to take the last question. Malam Isa Salisu. Malam Isa Salisu, are you with us? So, Malam Isa, I think he's not with us. So thank you very much for that wonderful question and answer session. I believe most of all of us, our questions has been answered accordingly. So the next item on the agenda is the remark from Amiable Amir. Yeah, Amir, the floor is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. Our distinguished speaker, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was indeed an inspiring and very educative session. We have learned a lot. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the presenter and person of Ibrahim Abdullahi, also known as Ibrahim A.L. Khalil, which is actually our mentor. We actually follow up his write-up in Facebook and what have you, and we are learning a lot from him. Actually, the career fair was of 3 sessions. This is the last session we are having right now. The first session we did it about a month ago, where we invited distinguished intellectuals actually to discuss about career, which we call it career talk. It was an interesting session. We did it. We invited Dr. Adamu Tilde and Dr. Marzuk Ngogo. It was an educative session. The second session, which was the physical career session, with experts from different fields. We invited them to the Gombe State University. They have shared their experience, their journeys, and what have you. and they have motivated students to think and act globally. And mashallah, it was a success. And we are having the last year. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the presenter, the moderator, the participants, and all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us all abundantly, and may Jannatul Firdaus be our final destination. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank you, Amir. So I think if you have any more advice for us, I will kindly ask you to give us. Okay, Malas Isa Salisu, you are still raising your hand. Malam Isa. So any words of advice for us that we are still coming up, we are yet to graduate, anything for us, sir, before we call it a day?
Okay, are you speaking to me?
So there was in the university that are yet to graduate, sir.
So for you in the university, focus on your academics and, finish with excellent results, because having that excellent result will take you to a lot of places, inshallah. We are not saying your life depends on it, okay? Everyone, of course, is going to live according to their destiny, but then whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. So focus on your academics, have that great degree, first class, hopefully, or a 2-1, so that you are able to apply to a lot of things, because most of jobs and scholarships have that filter of, taking out people below a 2-1 degree. So if you're still in school, please focus on getting that great degree, and then that enables you apply to a lot of things when you finish.
So, Jazakumullahu khairan.
Amin wa iyyakum.
This brings us to the end of today's session, inshallah. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. May Allah reward you all abundantly. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.